Hi everybody, my name is Ciara and I'm a guide here in the National Botanic Gardens in Dublin. We know that a lot of people, the last lockdown during the spring, were doing a lot of work in their garden, seed sowing or doing other bits and pieces in their garden, and it's kind of more difficult this time around. But we wanted to show you a few things that you can do in your garden, in your home, in your garden, or if you're looking for some homeschooling ideas as well. So we're going to have a few different ideas for you over the next few weeks. So today I want to show you how to make little mini glass houses like this one here. I've done one already with some kale in it. So the idea behind these is that you sow your seeds in them and then they can be placed outdoors. We can actually start them now, which is great, in January, February, but also it means that because then these little seedlings will be more used to the cold and some harsher conditions, that you should get stronger seedlings at the end of it. And the other good thing about them is that if you don't have a huge amount of space indoors, this frees up a bit of space for your later seed sowing for things that need a bit warmer conditions. So we're going to go ahead and get started. All the materials you need here are things that you should have around the house. So firstly, we have this 2-litre milk jug. And what we do is you cut it halfway up along the side and you cut it all the way around, but leave a little hinge here, and that just helps to keep it in place. The other really important thing to do is to cut some holes at the bottom for drainage. I had a craft knife I used, but the plastic's quite light, so you can cut it with the scissors as well. It's okay. If there's kids doing this, they might need an adult to give them a hand with that little bit. So that's our container. Then we have our compost. So ideally you'd have some lovely peat-free seed starting compost. That's really fine, but I don't have that at the moment. I just have some multi-purpose compost. It's a bit thick, but we're just going to make sure we're going to take out any lumps that there are, and it should do the job for what we want it to do. If you can't get your hands on any compost at the moment, if you do have a compost heap down the end of your garden, you could turn that over, and then the bottom of it you could find some really nice compost that would be ideal to use as well. The seeds we're going to sow, we want ones that are pretty hardy. There's no point starting things like tomatoes or courgettes or things like that really need heat.
I wanted to give you an idea here of some of the seeds you can try using this method. So we have some of the hardier vegetables. We've got kale, purple spreading broccoli, garden peas. You could also try sweet peas as well, and broad beans here. That would give them a nice early start. I also have some of the hardier annuals here. I've got bells of Ireland, snapdragons. You could also try calendula or poppies. And then another type of seeds you could try would be the hardy perennials as well.
I'm actually going to plant now are these, and these are amazing little things. They're called paper moonflower, or Scabious stellata is their Latin name. And I grew these last year and they're beautiful in dried flower arrangements. But what's really amazing is these are the seed heads. But if you pull them apart, these are actually the seeds. So these are annuals, so you grow them every year. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill up our container. So we have our compost. If your compost has been indoors or in a shed and it's a bit dry, now is the time to give it some water. So just put a couple of cups of water in it. You want it nice and wet, but you don't want it dripping out if you squeeze it. But it should sort of hold together like this. So I'm going to fill this up to the top. The easiest thing to do is fill it up to the top and then tap it down. And then what that does is gives you a little bit of room for either for watering or just so things don't fall apart when you're moving them around. These are my seeds, and I think I'm going to put about 8 seeds in here. And as they grow, then when they're a bit bigger in the spring, we'll be able to kind of lift them out and pop them on. So now I'm going to put some holes in. I'm going to put 8 holes in for our seeds, about 1 inch down. And now I'm going to put the seeds in. Then just cover off the little bit of soil, a little bit of compost, and just tap it down lightly. Now they don't need to be watered at this stage because your compost is nice and wet. So it's really important now to give your plants a label, because you could write them on the top, on the outside, and we probably will, just so we know what is in each container, but the rain does wash them away. So I'm going to put a little label on the inside, and hopefully that will stay a bit longer. So paper. And then it's time to close them over. So this is going to be the little protective part of our glass house. So you need to get some duct tape or other tape that would be waterproof, but normal sellotape isn't going to work. It'll just get wet and everything will fall apart. So I'm going to start it here. So this is the tricky bit. And then just put it around it so it seals it all up. It doesn't have to look beautiful. Seal it all the way around. There we go. And what this is going to do is it's protecting it from the worst of the cold. It's also protecting it from the rain as well. It's important to take off the lid. If you have the lid on, take that off. We don't need it. We're going to keep that open so that a little bit of rain does go in, but not too much. And that's it. Oh yeah, I'm going to write the name on it. It's a paper moon. So there we go. So what you're going to do then is these are going to go outside, and really the most important thing this time of year, late January, February, is light. They need as much light as possible, and that can be difficult. So if you can find a nice sunny spot in your garden, somewhere that might be sheltered from the worst winds as well, because you don't want them falling over in the wind. Somewhere that's nice and sheltered and sunny, and then you can check on them every so often. Because you've got the holes in the bottom and the hole in the top, they should get enough water, and not too much water and not too little. But you might want to check, say if we've a few days of real rain, make sure that they're not swimming in it, that the water is draining properly. And also as well, say we've a couple of weeks with no rain, you might want to check that they haven't dried out. But really they should be pretty low maintenance, and then coming to the spring you should be able to check on them, and you should have lovely hardy seedlings. It'd be great if you go and give it a go, and we'd love to see your progress and how you do. You can post them in the comments below, and post up some photos as well. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments as well. Thanks very much.